Hi everybody, Sabrina Hall here. I am a lymphatic massage therapist and a reflexologist that does lymph drainage as well. So I have had a huge interest in lymphatic drainage for a lot of my career, and it has helped me profoundly. So today I want to show you a simple lymph drainage routine that you can do on yourself, and I would suggest doing this one maybe once a week. I have another video on my channel that is a 6-step self lymph drainage routine that literally takes about 5 minutes, and this one you could do daily, but this one is going to be about 20 minutes long, so I would suggest maybe reserving it for once a week and also incorporating fascia release with it. It's very important with lymph drainage that you are priming the lymphatic system to do all the drainage and get all of those rivers kind of moving in the right direction. But then once your fascia is released, it actually has the pathways to be able to flow through. So the combination of the two of them together is very important. That's why lymphatic drainage massage often incorporates a lot of myofascial release and massage of that tissue, because we're moving the lymph once there's clear and open pathways. So the most important part of the body for lymphatic drainage is right through the cervical region, our neck and around our collarbones. We have about 160 to 170 of our lymph nodes through here, which is about a third of them to a quarter of them. And so what we want to do is we want to create a low pressure system here, almost like a vacuum, where we're compressing very gently the lymph nodes. And as they open back up, they are pulling the lymph from all of our extremities into those so they can dump back into circulation via the subclavian vein in the heart. So we want to start with a gentle kind of paddle hand, and we're going to let it melt over this area. We're starting with our left side, because the left side is very important for drainage of the whole body. And we're going to kind of rub, massage in a circular motion above and below the collarbone. And we're going to do this for about a 10 to 20 count. Then we're going to very gently do some tapping through this area. You can do it whole hand tapping, or you can do gentle fingertip tapping on both the top and bottom of the collarbone. And then we're going to rub again that area. You can do it either direction. Perfect. Once we have that done, we're going to move into the armpit area. There's a ton of lymph nodes through the sidewall of the breast and then up into the axillary area. So we're going to, again, cupping, and we're going to rub really gently but thoroughly into that area, kind of like making sure that you get this really kind of meaty bit up here where the arm meets into the rest of the body. And pulling up. We want the direction of drainage to be moving up and into these cervical and axillary lymph nodes. Not really going to do any tapping here, just some nice massage. Now that these areas are open, we're going to start draining the arm. So we're going to just use some gentle pulling motion. The majority of our lymph nodes in the body are very surface to the skin and in those couple of layers there. So you can either do that, or like dry brushing, you can just use your hand surface to move things up. And you can also use the flow of gravity to move them down where we want them. We're going to gently massage into the elbow, maybe do a couple of pumps in there to get the lymph nodes that are in there. And then we're going to do the same with our lower arm. And we're just going to gently pull or swipe that whole area up. And then we'll incorporate the back of the hand as well. And just move along all of those areas complete the arm by pulling like this. Again, through the inside of the elbow there, very gently bent. And then keep on bringing all that lovely lymph in towards the center line of the body. And then we switch. So we're melting our hand over onto the right side now. So we're just underneath the clavicle and gently circling around like nice slow massage circles. And we're going above the collarbone as well, into that area. Next, we'll move into nice gentle tapping of that area. And then we can move into fingertip tapping as well. Very good for the nervous system as well as the lymphatic system. And then we'll move back into gentle massage circles above and below. When that area feels complete, we'll move into the armpit. So we're cupping that whole entire region right down the side and up into the armpit, really paying attention to this region right here. I tend to do these massage circles always in the same way, kind of up and in, because this is the direction of flow that we want. Perfect. Now we're going to get the upper arm in, swiping using gravity. Or our flat hand surface, flat paddle, to move all of the lymph here. Then we want to gently kind of rub in circles and then pulse down into the lymph nodes that are in the elbow. Then we'll do our lower arm, pulling and swiping. And then incorporate the hand as well. And then we finish the arm. Through the elbow again. All the way. Back. Yeah. Next, we're moving on to our neck. So the first region is cervical region in our arms. Then we're going to do our neck. So you can do this one of two ways. I tend to kind of like gently pull down along these big muscles at the side of our neck where a lot of the lymph nodes are. And so the pressure is a downward motion, and I'm gently just bringing my fingers up each time. Or you can do this kind of like butterfly neck, and it's almost like a pulse down that you're doing. So the wings are coming out and down. You're pushing down, down each of those times. So you're going to want to do this before you do your facial lymph drainage massage in the other video. And that way, this whole area is already primed and your face is literally just draining down into already open lymph nodes. The next thing we want to do while we're in this area is just very gently, there's a couple of lymph nodes in between the sternum and like the intercostals of where the ribs come in. So we're just going to very gently circular motion in there with our fingertips. Just to get those ones draining as well. Give them a little bit of love and attention. Perfect. Next, we're going to move down into our abdomen. So where our rib cage meets is the solar plexus area. Be careful if you have a xiphoid process, that little bony protrusion that comes down. But we're just going to take, again, gentle flat hands, and we're going to push in and up. There's a lymphatic structure that is just behind the stomach, attached to the front of the spine, called the cisterna chyli, that we're just gently motivating to move the lymph up through the diaphragm into the thoracic cavity. We can also, with flat hands, just gently push in to the abdomen on each of the sides. There are a lot of deep lymphatic nodes in the abdomen that, other than doing this way, we don't have a lot of ability really to get to them. Okay, next step is the groin. So we're going to do both sides of the groin at the same time, and this is really where you bend. This is where a lot of the lymph nodes are, so we're going to do nice circular rotations to wake them up in both directions. Here we could do little tiny taps just to wake them up, get them compressing a little bit, and then we'll go back to rotations. Now we're going to do each of our legs separately. So I have my chair here behind me, and I would suggest you can do this standing, but the muscles of the leg just relax a lot nicer when you're sitting down. So we're just going to start with those pulling motions again and just get our entire thigh and the back of the thigh too. There's a deep lymph channel that runs along the back of the thigh. I'm just using my hands to pull along that line. Your fingers will kind of naturally slide into a groove down along the back of your thigh, and then keep on moving either with fingertips or more paddle hands, like the lymphatic brushing kind of idea. Next, we're going to move behind our knees. So these ones you want to be fairly gentle with, and some people they're quite congested. The longer our limbs are and the more sedentary our lifestyle sometimes, or if we've just had issues with our legs, then these ones can get congested very easily. So we're going to take our hands like this, and we're going to be pumping up the top of the calf muscle and then just into the divot behind the knee. And again, none of this has to hurt to help. So if any of this is a little bit painful for you, then ease off. It doesn't have to hurt at all. You want very gentle moves with the lymphatic system. Especially, we want to keep our body feeling safe so that the lymphatic system is open and relaxed and receptive to flowing as opposed to constricted and tight. Then we're going to move down to our calves, and we're going to do the same thing, pulling up the back, and again, fitting into that groove along the back of the calf, or flat hands, and then along the top of the feet. As a reflexologist, the top of the feet represent our lymphatic channels, and so moving the lymph along the top of the foot, especially if you get any swelling in the top of the foot, get that out. It has nowhere to go, right, when it's down in your foot. So you want to move it up and open these channels up. A couple gentle pulses behind the knee again, and then continue up the thigh. And we'll move to the right leg. So I've already opened the groin ones, and we're going to pull. And then we're going to move to the back of the leg, into that groove. Keep on moving the lymph. And then a And again, pulling, kind of massaging motion in through the top of those muscles, right at the top of the calf, and then into the divot behind the knee. Gentle, gentle. Then we'll do our calves. Pulling right along that back channel. And then we've got our feet, tops of the feet that we're gently pulling and collect it all through the calves. A couple nice pulses through the back of the leg. And feel free to take as much time with this as you want. All right. So now that we have told all of the lymph in our body where we want it to go in order to re-enter circulation, now we want to help it along even more. So we're going to just do some metatarsal bouncing. And what this does is it gets our big gastrocnemius muscles in the backs of our calves to pump, pump, pump over and over again. And that's helping the lymph move upwards. We're going to be doing deep diaphragmatic breathing while we're doing this. So let the belly expand. And then we're going to put our arms up in the air and we're going to let gravity do some work. We're going to shake them and look super silly and love it. So we want to do this for 30 seconds to a minute and just let all of that go. At the end of the day, a magnificent exercise for lymph is also legs up the wall. Just get your legs into a comfortable position up the wall, leave them for 5 minutes kind of thing. Some people can actually feel the drainage happening. Perfect. The other thing we can do is lift our shoulders up and drop them down. Lift them up, drop them down. Again, that's compressing these lymph nodes here. And finally, you can bring your arms up and just do a couple of nice waves. And that is it. So that is your more in-depth lymphatic drainage routine that you can do on yourself. Again, I would suggest about once a week that you're doing this, combined with afterwards you're doing some fascia release. So maybe you're tapping or like bone tapping using your fist or a dowel or any other number of fascia release exercises. So I hope that you found this valuable, and I hope that you are able to do it once a week and just see how you start feeling over time as your major detoxification system for your body is working and flowing really beautifully. It'll have impacts on your nervous system as well. So I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you next time.